I will take you to a place where my friends foregather. There you will find stories of such blood-curdling terror it will make your toes curl and your hair reach up towards the sky.
He likes to take you by surprise. He likes to leave a very special calling card.
It was the best blood I have ever tasted.
He's giving you a very special invitation. 3 stories to shock you, chill you, thrill you, and make you laugh.
Welcome to the Monster Club. There's a face at my window as the darkness closes in.
Everybody knows about garlic and stakes through the heart.
Yes, we all have our cross to bear.
I'm just a sucker for your love. I'm just a sucker for your love. I'm just a sucker for...
You are one of his kind now. You have to be staked by your own men. You made a wrong mistake. I want to know your name. Just come back again and pay the tribute. So let the show begin. I'll show you everything. Pour out the safety pin.
Songs by B.A. Robertson.
Don't you look down on me.
Night.
With the strange twisted...
The Pretty Things. The Viewers.
Tell me I'm not going to let you go until you do.
We must have our food.
But remember, he likes to take you by surprise. You've been invited to the Monster Club. Come at your peril.
Welcome to the Monster Club.
Hi, this is Sam.
And this is Becca.
We just got done watching The Monster Club.
Yes.
It was made in 1980.
And
It's the last Amicus movie. Kind of, sort of, even though it was made by another company, but it's very close to other Amicus movies. I'm just going to unabashedly say that I loved every minute of this movie.
it was good from start to end.
Is it as good as other Amicus movies? No. Don't go into it expecting it to be as good as other Amicus movies. It's directed by Roy Ward Baker, who his best known film is A Night to Remember.
Yes.
He did Don't Bother to Knock with Marilyn Monroe. He worked a lot for television, but then he also did Quartermass in the Pit, The Vampire Lovers, Scars of Dracula, Asylum, and The Vault of Horror. And he also co-directed The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires.
Oh.
Yes. So, he directed quite a few things, but Monster Club, so we're talking about today, this movie stars Vincent Price and John Carradine. It's based on the works of British horror author R. Chetwynd Hayes, who is played by John Carradine, and it's the final film from Milton Sebowski, who is best known from Amicus. This is also the final feature film Baker directed before going back into television. So really, the author in the beginning is approached by a strange man who turns out to be a vampire named Aramis, played by Vincent Price. Played quite well. And he takes him to the Monster Club. There's 3 stories, a little less than an Amicus movie. The first is called The Shadmock. The Shadmock's name, his name is Raven.
Raven?
And he has a whistle noise. Her boyfriend, Simon Ward, wants to get the money. But, it turns out the Shadmock brings all his relatives together who wear crazy masks, and they dance.
I feel like they were made out of milk cartons.
Yes, and the young woman tries to take the money, and he goes,
But will you still love me?
But will you still love me even after this? But no, her boyfriend goes insane and is locked away in an asylum. Perhaps the same asylum as Asylum.
That's where they're in.
And the second story is The Vampires. It's about the son of a vampire who is coming after by these bureaucratic undead killers, led by Pickering, played by Donald Pleasence, Britt Eklund, who's been in several movies we reviewed, plays the mother. Wonderful. Finally, a movie director, played by Stuart Whitman, is scouting locations for a movie. He meets a ghoul woman, the daughter of a ghoul father, played by Patrick McGee, who has been in, again, tons of Amicus movies, as well as A Clockwork Orange. At the end, Aramis cheerfully tells the other club members all the ways that humans are really the biggest monsters. And they make the writer an honorary member of the club. I don't know how much more I have to say about Vincent Price and My Complete Love.
If they have a boy, we're naming him after him.
Yes.
Yes.
John Carradine. Every night, when I put my drink down,
You put it on his face.
I put it on John Carradine, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and Vincent Price. John Carradine's in a ton of things. Do you know what his final film was?
What?
Peggy Sue Got Married.
I love that movie.
Yeah. He also is the Great Owl in The Secret of Neem. As I talked about, his voice is amazing. He has a deep, resonant voice. He was nicknamed The Voice. He was also known as the Bard of the Boulevard because as he got older, he would stroll Hollywood Boulevard and recite Shakespeare soliloquies to anyone who would listen. He denied that he ever did this, but it's been reported several times that it's true. He was married 4 times. He had planned a large family, but according to the autobiography of his son David, his wife had had a series of miscarriages, and he found out that she had given herself several abortions by herself.
What?
Yep. She filed for divorce, but they stayed married for 5 more years. And then there was an incredible amount of court battles between the two of them for the kids. He had really contentious relationships with really rough women.
Yeah?
Yeah. At one point, his second wife was not allowed to see the children, Robert Carradine being one of the children. He was raised primarily by the third wife. And he always thought he was his mother. Until once, when he was 14 years old, he was at a Christmas party. And he told a journalist, "Hi, how are you doing?" And the journalist took him aside and said, "Hey, you should talk to your..." He was talking to him, and his brother Keith said, "I have something to tell you. That lady you're talking to, that's our mom."
What?
He didn't know what he was talking about. Yep. He was married a 4th time until 1988. He retired. He suffered from painful and crippling rheumatoid arthritis before he died from multiple organ failure in Milan, Italy. Hours before he was stricken, he climbed the steep steps of Milan's Gothic cathedral. According to David Carradine, who had just finished a film in South Africa and was about to begin a European tour, David was with him reading Shakespeare to him when he succumbed. By the time they arrived at his bedside, he was almost unable to speak, but said, "Milan, what a beautiful place to die." There was a mass for him at St. Thomas the Apostle in Hollywood. An Irish wake followed, and he was buried at sea.
Yeah.
He has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He is also in the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum and the Western Performer Hall of Fame. 4 of his kids became actors: David, Robert, Keith, and Bruce. David Carradine being the son perhaps best known. He is from Kill Bill.
He's
And-
from the Ninja Show.
Yeah, from Kung Fu.
Yeah. I
Also-
like that show.
Killed by ninjas who made it look like he was masturbating while he was hanging himself. David, Keith, and Robert appeared together on an episode of The Fall Guy with their father. How about that? That's why you can see the arthritis taking over his hands in this. It's really painful to even look at his hands. You know?
Yeah.
He was also, when he was young, an apprentice to Samuel Chester French, the artist who made the Lincoln Memorial. That's what David says, but that's not the right name. But supposedly he was a really good sculptor in his youth. Donald Pleasence. How much more can we say about Donald Pleasence?
Dr. Loomis.
Yes, Dr. Loomis. Many great things. And then finally, a little bit interesting thing about this movie, I thought. Despite Vincent Price being in horror movies for years, this is his only film performance as a vampire.
Yeah.
Actually, Christopher Lee was originally going to be in the movie, but when he heard the name of the movie, he turned it down.
What?
And Peter Cushing also turned down a role.
Aw.
There are a number of inside jokes in this movie. The character of Linton Bukowski, the film producer who's a vampire, his name is an anagram of the real film's producer.
Oh.
The cast includes Patrick McGee, Britt Eklund, and Jeffrey Balin, who all appeared in Asylum. There's a reference to a producer named Dark John. The Amicus producers were made by John Dark. And Bukowski introduces his film From Beyond the Tombstone, which is an allusion to the film From Beyond the Grave.
Oh.
Chetwin Hayes, who wrote this,
Yeah.
said he did not like how his stories were changed. He said only Goulsville was faithful. Hated the pop music. Hated that John Carradine played him because he's too old. The film was a commercial failure. And it was released to video and TV and became a small success. The performers in this movie include B.A. Robertson, who actually has a Wikipedia page. He's a Scottish musician. He had a string of hits in the 70s and 80s, characterized by catchy pop tunes and jaunty, humorous lyrics. His best-known song is the song Bang Bang, a tongue-in-cheek commentary on famous historical and fictional couples.
The straitjacket of true love's fine. Bang, bang. If you're Houdini in your spare time. Bang, bang. Lord Nell and Lady Hamilton, they fought for love. When he come home from the war, he give a whoop for love. The mighty fall when love has called. Vampire friends desire to lust. Fang, fang.
Also, he worked with Mike Rutherford of Mike and the Mechanics and wrote the song The Living Years. How about that?
Good.
Yep. There's a band called The Viewers, and The Pretty Things is the other band. They took their name from a Willie Dixon song. Their most successful commercial period, the mid-'60s, but David Bowie performed 2 of their songs on his album Cover-Ups.
Yeah.
They were one of his favorite bands.
I can see that.
Yeah. Also, there's a band that's called Night.
I love them.
They performed the song Stripper,
Yeah.
which you can listen to right here.
Well, thank you for a very pleasant evening. I really must go.
The entertainment is about to commence.
Take a look around you. Someone might recognize you. It's not the type of place you want to bump into friends. I know what you came for. To watch me on the dance floor, making what you paid for a part of your dreams. But it's alright. Come on and see me every Saturday night. But it's alright. Don't you know?
They were a band formed in Los Angeles whose personnel were veteran British-based session musicians. They had 2 vocalists. They met when they worked on the album Watch by Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Yep. Hot Summer Nights was one of their songs. They hit number 3 in Australia with it. They also did a theme song for the film The Champ.
Yeah.
And they toured with the Doobie Brothers. They also had a song called Love is on the Airwaves. They disbanded in 1982, but not before appearing in the movie
Yeah.
The Monster Club. Stevie Lang was the vocalist. She was a backup singer in several songs. She got into singing, guess how?
No.
She was friends with Robert Mutt Lang,
Oh.
who was married to what's her name,
Shania Twain.
and did a ton of stuff with with Def Leppard and AC/DC. She contributed backing vocals to a lot of the band The Sweet, Rick Wakeman, and UFO. Yep. she actually married Mutt Lange.
Yeah.
Yep, they went to the same high school and then reconnected years later while attending Belfast High School in South Africa. They played in a band called Hookahs together. She also did backing vocals for Shaka Khan, Billy Ocean, Tears for Fears, Johnny Hates Jazz, Wham, Swing Out Sister, Nick Kershaw, and Ray Charles. And she toured with Elton John for 2 years as a backing vocalist. She also worked with her husband Mutt Lange in 1995 as they stayed friends. She's on the she did backup vocals with Def Leppard, and she recorded a solo album with Mutt Lange and includes a duet with Bryan Adams. She's a vocal coach, and guess who her most famous client is?
Who?
Robbie Williams.
Love him.
Yep. So she also sings the song "Stripper" in the movie.
What
The Monster Club.
What's your favorite Robbie Williams song?
The one where he rips all his skin off.
Oh, Rock DJ.
Rock DJ. I would say Angels, but that'd probably be the only song most Americans would know, right?
No, they knew, what was it, the big one?
Angels was, wouldn't you say Angels was his biggest song?
Maybe over here, but he did another one that was kind of big with Kylie Minogue.
So here's John Bolton, as I talked before, was the artist who drew this. He's a famous, he worked a ton in, he did a lot of epic comics.
Yeah.
And for Marvel. He also he worked on Hercules TV show. He was a storyboard artist. He's done a lot of video games and stuff too, but he's a real well-known British comic book artist.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was in the art department, and he drew the Shadmock monster. And it turns out they found an actor who exactly looked like it.
Yeah.
This film opened on Vincent Price's 70th birthday. Guess what other crazy actor was offered a role in this movie?
Yeah.
Klaus Kinski.
Your favorite.
I so much wish he was in it. This movie never came out in the United States.
No?
It was supposed to come out in theaters. Instead, it was sold for syndication airings in 1982 and came out on an Elvira video in 1985. Des Skin, John Bolton, and David Lloyd, who worked on 2000 AD, which is where Judge Dredd came from, did a graphic novel, which was given away at the Cannes Film Festival. Only 1,000 copies were made. It's really rare. So what did you think about Monster Squad?
I loved it.
Tell me your feelings on this movie. I'd like to hear in your words.
It was an amazing combination of
Yeah.
music, great actors, and good, scary stories.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You could tell they didn't have much of a budget.
No.
Especially because that one scene,
I think the actors wore their own clothes.
Well, instead of the showing the monsters come out of the grave, they just had drawings.
Yeah.
said-
That was filler.
We can just do some. Would you like to see my drawings?
Drawings.
Yeah, my drawings. It's been alleged that the monster masks in this movie are so bad that they were made by the producer's milkman.
Some of them are real bad, but I think they're just cheap.
They were made by Vic Dorr, who was freelancing and also worked at a milk processing plant, but was not a milkman. And also the original goal of this movie was to have Vincent Price, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, Klaus Kinski, Donald Pleasence, and John Carradine. But Cushing, Lee, and Kinski turned him down.
So we're not going to be in a dance movie.
We're not going to be in a
Do you
movie.
think they made it a dance movie because all the other movies during that time were becoming that?
I think so. I think there's some of that.
Yeah.
I think there's some, I think it was very much, MTV hadn't launched yet.
It was 1980, you said.
Yeah, and I think, but it feels very of the time, Top of the Pops, bands playing. And the other thing is, most movies, when a band plays, they play like part of a song.
These are like music videos.
You sit and listen to the whole song. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that during the stripper song, a girl doesn't only strips.
She turns into a skeleton and rips off her bones
She rips off her bones.
on her skin.
I wonder if the girl in that band told Robbie Williams, "Oh, governor,
We
I
did
was
this
in a
before.
I was in a movie once, but I gave a stripping song.
Yeah,
She has a really deep
that's
accent.
true. I didn't think about that.
Hmm.
I don't wanna rock, DJ, but you're making me feel alright.
Would you like to know what movies you should watch if you like this movie?
Those are always lies. They're like, you would like Steel Magnolias.
You would like Asylum.
Yes.
You would like Dr. Terror's House of Horrors.
Yes.
You would like Torture Garden.
Yeah.
You would like Vault of Horror.
Why shouldn't it should just say you own these.
You would like House of Drip Blood.
Yes.
You would like House of Long Shadows. You would like From Beyond the Grave.
Yeah.
You would like Theater of Blood.
Yeah.
You would like Tales of Terror. You would like From a Whisper to a Scream. You would like And Now the Screaming Starts. You would like Tales from the Crypt. These are the movies that you would like. Yeah. So, what would you give this movie?
An A.
An A?
Yes.
I'd give this
It
movie...
was highly entertaining.
I'm going to give this movie a B. I think, though, I have to say, first off, George, who does the driving thing, wrote the liner notes.
Really?
Yep. And I would give this movie a solid B. I think the Blu-ray transfer, I would give an A, except they have that female wrestler who used to be a vampire in TNA.
Yeah.
And they have her talking about the movie. I don't care.
They paid her $5 to do it.
Oh, they probably paid her more than
$10.
that. I don't know.
Well,
I didn't like it very much. But what do I know, right?
you know lots.
I talk too much.
Huh?
I talk too much.
Sometimes.
Really?
Yes.
About what?
In the podcast.
Why?
You talk so much I can't say anything.
Well, you need to come in and say things. You need to
No.
push your way through.
My baby saying smart things. I say stupid things.
No, you say great things. I think people like you on the podcast more than me. They say, that guy's a know-it-all.
No.
His wife's a lot funnier than him.
No.
She should talk.
You're the funny one.
No, I'm not the funny
Yes,
one.
you
You're
are.
the funny one. I think we shouldn't. I think you should talk. You tell us a little bit about stuff.
About what?
Just tell us what's on your mind tonight. Tell us what's on your mind.
I love my talkative husband.
Yeah, but I'd like to know what's on your mind tonight.
Tiredness.
Tiredness?
Yes.
Do you like when your husband's crazy from working crazy hours and is convinced that you that he's done something wrong and he follows you around the house
No.
like a puppy? Do you like that, husband?
No. I love him.
Yeah.
But I wish he wouldn't do that to himself.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Do you... If you could have one horror actor over for dinner, who would it be?
Battle Pleasence.
Really?
Yeah.
I would be Vincent Price because he would cook.
Yes, he
Do
would.
you know what I saw online that I want to get?
What?
Vincent Price had a kit in the 70s.
A cookbook or something?
No. It was a kit. You could take an apple, and he
Mm-hmm.
would teach you how to make a shrunken head out of it. And you would sculpt a shrunken head.
Mm.
And you could display it.
Yeah.
He's also, I forgot, when Milton Bradley came out with the Hangman game,
Yeah.
he was in the commercials, and he's on the box art for it.
Oh.
You hurt your eye. How?
The hair.
Oh, baby. All right, well, that was Monster Club. How do you feel about Monster Club, peoples? You should tell us.
Tell us.
You should email us at bnsaboutmovies@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You should comment on the video. People are actually watching videos on YouTube now. You can find us by searching keyword BNS About Movies.
I did that. I found us on iTunes, too.
And we're on iTunes.
I
And you
downloaded
can
some of them.
subscribe to iTunes.
I don't know how to do that.
All you do is you click the button that says subscribe.
I didn't see it come up, though, on our name. All it had was the episodes.
Yeah, but if you subscribe,
Mm-hmm.
it'll automatically load the new episodes.
Oh.
So you can listen to them as soon as they're released. Guess what?
What?
I'll tell you when they're released because you live with me.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah. I think we have to do another Stranger Things podcast soon.
We do.
We're almost done with the 3rd episode of Murder, She Wrote, which may have aired before you hear this.
Mm-hmm.
It's an editing nightmare.
Why?
There's well, the first episode hasn't been on it yet, and it's already 40 minutes long.
Uh-oh.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about what actors are from Livonia for about 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That lady. I forget her name already.
Yeah. And from Jurassic World.
Yeah, that lady.
All right, well, I love my wife very much.
I love you.
I love Vincent Price a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Carradine family a lot.
Yes.
I love Donald Pleasence a lot.
Yes.
I love Britt Eklund.
She's good.
I love Amicus.
She's actually a good actress.
I love Amicus.
Mm-hmm.
I love Telly Savalas. I want to say hello to Telly Savalas.
In heaven.
In heaven? I want to say hello to David Carradine in heaven.
No.
I want to say hello to Vincent Price in hell.
No.
Yes, he's in hell.
No.
Yeah, because the devil likes him. He's like, sit next to me. Let's
No,
make a
he's in the good hell.
shrunken apple head. Yeah, the good hell.
Yeah.
Do you think, here's what I think the afterlife is.
Yeah.
I think there's a heaven for super religious people.
Yeah.
And then
Where
there's,
they all go and continue to be super religious.
and I think there's a good hell
Mm-hmm.
for nice people that maybe aren't into that, but it's kind of like, it's like flames and stuff, and then kind of people just walk around.
They just like to be tan.
Yeah, with like pitchforks and stuff. It's like good hell. And then there's bad hell for bad people.
Yes.
That's, I think, of those 3, wouldn't you rather go to good hell?
I'm going to go to the 4th one, cat heaven.
Cat heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's babies everywhere. Yes.
Yes. What if, I think cats are inherently evil. Lola.
She's good.
And they all go to hell.
Where
As
are you?
we've learned,
There she is.
do you know where dogs go?
Heaven.
All dogs go to heaven.
They do. With Charlie.
Yeah, all dogs go to heaven, Ange. All cats go to hell. That's the sequel to All Dogs Go to Heaven.
No.
All cats go to hell.
Lola says that's not true.
Where mice go? They go to cat heaven.
No, they go.
Where they're
Bible
eating
goes west.
Actually, no. Mice go to cat heaven,
Yeah,
but it's really mouse hell.
it is, because they're feasted upon.
Yeah, they're feasted upon for all eternity, reborn and eaten again and again. Lois says, "What a grand
Forever.
what a grand idea." She's like, "I'm going to Ned this couch." Goodbye, everybody. Lola is on the podcast. Lola, anything you'd like to add about Monster Club?
She says, I love monsters and I love my parents.
We also learned something really important from this movie.
What?
How monsters, there's only 3 real monsters.
Ghouls.
There's
werewolves,
ghouls
and
and vampires. Now, if a vampire
Oh, I can't
goes
do
with a
that.
ghoul, they become a ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
If a werewolf and a vampire wouldn't go together. But a werewolf and a ghoul becomes a wool.
Yeah.
If a werewolf and a wool get together, they become a ratool.
No, a ratty.
A ratty. A ratty. And then there's the shadows, or whatever the name is.
I don't
They
even
can't
know
do
where they got that
anything,
word.
but all they can do is whistle. And, oh, have you ever heard them whistle?
I have.
Say, there's a man that did.
Yeah.
Perhaps you'll hear his story.
What's this?
Oh, that's a monster's genealogical chart. You see, first we have the primate monsters, vampires, werewolves, and ghouls. Now, a vampire and a werewolf would produce a werevamp. But a werewolf and a ghoul would produce a wereghoul. But a vampire and a ghoul would produce a vamghoul. A wereghoul and a werevamp would produce a shaddy. Now, a wereghoul and a vamghoul would produce a maddie. But a werevamp and a vamghoul would produce a ratty. Now, if a shaddy were to mate with a ratty or a maddie, the results would be a muck.
A mock.
Frankly, that's just the polite name for a mongrel. You know, it's quite simple, really. All you have to do is remember the basic rules of monsterdom. Vampires sup, werewolves hunt, ghouls tear. Shaddies lick, maddies yawn, mocks blow. But shadmocks only whistle.
Shadmucks.
If a mock were to mate with any of the other hybrids, their offsprings would be called shadmocks.
And they only whistle.
Well, they don't do it very often.
Doesn't sound too terrifying.
Oh, but you should see the results of a shadmock's whistling. Shadmocks are the lowest in the monster hierarchy, and yet they have this power.
What happens when a shadlock whistles?
I heard of a man once who saw the results of a shadmock's whistling. That's all he saw, and yet...
Yep. No, we melted.
Like I came to his house and I couldn't work for him. My family, they're too much for you to take in all at once. That's how I should introduce you to my family. I should have brought you over and everybody had masks on and we had a big
ball.
A grand ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My family are werewolves.
You know what my all-time favorite quote is?
What?
From a movie trailer? From the Pink Angels. Remember that one about the gay motorcycle gang?
Yes.
Where you men headed?
Down the coast.
Los Angeles?
Yeah, LA.
And what are you gonna do there?
Ball.
What?
Okay, hold it right there, fella.
I sometimes, when I'm in the car by myself, I just roll down the window and scream stuff from movie trailers.
I know you do.
And I scream. I roll down the window and someone will be standing there. I'm like,
this is my happening and it freaks me out.
And they just look at me and they go, okay.
They had no idea.
They have no idea. Wouldn't it be great though if somebody like got it? No, I don't want people to get it.
No.
No.
That's not the point.
Every time I wear like a really obscure movie shirt, you know,
People
when I
are
work on the
puzzled.
weekends, Jay's like, I like that shirt. What is that? And I was like, oh. And it was like the Valerie and Her Week of Wonders shirt. I said, it's a Czechoslovakian movie about a girl going through a period, but it's really about vampires. And he was like, it's not a real movie. I'm like, oh yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
And it's awesome.
Yes.
You can watch it on Hulu in the Criterion Collection if you like.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like,
They don't have time for that.
they can always tell when I don't want to be there because that's when the also She Wolf of the SS shirts come out.
Yeah.
And everybody just goes,
Say.
oh, the older people like,
Why would you own that?
why would you own that shirt? I'm like, the movie was shot on the set of Hogan's Heroes.
Yes.
So I get excited about films. I realized that from reading Patton Oswalt's book.
Yeah.
He said sometimes he just wouldn't let people get a word in. I get super excited.
It's okay.
I want to tell people all about like stuff.
I know. You get it.
I get excited.
It's okay.
I get excited. Look how many movies we have.
I know.
You should, if you could. Let's set the scene for everybody before we close. We're sitting on our couch.
Yes.
It's from Value City Furniture. It's a really nice couch.
Yes. We like more
great
of them.
Great couch. VCF, you're out there. We love you. There's a beautiful fireplace my wife set up with many pictures. There's some paintings of flowers she did that I love. There's all sorts of different, like many candles, some flowers, photos, flowers on the wall, stars, butterflies.
I'm a nightmare.
No, eclectic. Over on the other side, there's a mini mantle with a picture of us.
Yes.
And then
Surrounded by Jesus.
Surrounded by crosses. Yeah. We have a little table that has a old telephone on it. And a book about John Carpenter.
Yes.
And a book about drive-ins.
Yeah.
And a book about beer. And what else we got? A candy dish.
We do.
And then a fuzzy ottoman.
Yep.
And probably about 700 or 800 DVDs.
I think so.
That are stacked. Andy Stoll said.
I think 1,000.
He liked the entertainment unit.
I did see that.
Other people said it looks cozy.
It is cozy.
And then we have a big TV that my work gave me that I didn't want, was all pissy about, yet I use every day now.
Yeah.
I don't want that TV. I don't want it.
Did you
I don't
your...
want to go to the waterfront.
Did you do your waterfront walk when they brought them out?
They brought TV out.
Did they bring out the TVs and you went...
They did a big thing where Santa Claus came while we were in the middle of a meeting.
He's not real.
And I was like, anyone that thinks he's real is going to get a lesson. And then he
they gave you a free TV.
Well, he knew all these people's names, right?
Yeah.
And he was
Who
like...
was it?
It was someone I hired. And he was like, he
talked to you?
He goes, oh, Jeff, your kids' names are blah, 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 blah. And I was like, he's not Santa! And I was like, because I thought maybe, because I would be the biggest skeptic, they'd say, Sam, you live here.
Yeah.
And your girlfriend's name, this is before we were married, your girlfriend's name is this. And your favorite Iron Maiden song
Is.
I'm like, you're not Santa because I don't have a favorite Iron Maiden song. They're all my favorite.
Right.
And he'd be like, mm-hmm. But you also really like Ministry's first album that sounds like a dance album. I'm like, oh my God, you are Santa. And then they brought the TVs out and they gave everybody TVs, and I was like, I don't want this. I don't have room for this.
I remember when you came to work to tell me, you're like, they gave us a TV.
They
it was
gave
a bad thing.
They gave us a TV.
And then
And you're
I
like,
was
that's
well,
amazing. That's so good. And I was like, come on, Becca.
Mm-hmm.
I was the pissiest of bitches. How do you put up with me when I get in these dark moods?
I love you. That's why.
The dark passenger that rides with me like Dexter. What else is in here? There's a couple video game systems, a dog, another couch, a new shelf. It's painted gray.
White.
It's gray and white.
What? Oh, the room.
The room is gray and white. There's a fireplace that is not really a fireplace.
What is it?
It's like just like a mantle, but it looks like it could be a fireplace.
Yes.
And then, but that's the room that we're recording in right now. I think if I've set the scene.
Yeah, I like it.
I think maybe I should have done it at the top of the episode, then people could imagine they were sitting with us.
That's true.
And they could have been enjoying the podcast. What's your favorite part of the room?
The couch.
What do you want to do now?
Go to bed.
Do you want to watch one of your murder shows?
No.
What do you want to watch?
Back of my eyelids.
Maybe something funny?
Maybe.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
I'll see you at the movies.
I love you.
I love you.